Hello, listeners! Welcome to Her Revelations. This is a storytelling channel that shares different real life stories that you can relate from. The aim of this channel is for you to learn some lessons from the mistakes of others so you can avoid them. And here is our story for today. Hello there! I am married to an American guy. I met him in a dating site way back 2017. I was the one initiating the conversation when I saw in his profile that he's gonna visit the Philippines. He replied and promised that he's going to meet me in his visit. He told me the truth that his main purpose of visiting the Philippines was to say a final goodbye to the family of his ex-girlfriend who cheated on him. Then he finally came and stayed in the ex-girlfriend's family for 1 week. Afterwards, he met me up and we lived together for 1 month. When I first saw him in person, I didn't find him charming at all. He looked old and poor, but I still accepted him wholeheartedly. He was broke that time because according to him, when he was still in the US, he kept on sending a big amount of money to his then girlfriend. He couldn't afford to stay in a hotel anymore, so I helped him to find a studio type apartment that just worth 15,000 a month, and I lived with him there. I was very sweet with him at first, and he was the opposite. I thought that it's just maybe because he's still in pain from his past relationship. I felt like I was just his last resort as he didn't have any choice because he didn't have enough money and had nobody to rely on. One night I caught him chatting with a girl, saying that he wanna live with her instead. When his departure going back to the US was approaching, he told me that he couldn't promise to come back to be with me again. I was hurt when I heard that, but still accepted it. I was never worried, as I am young, and I know that I could still find someone else. But when he's already in the US, our communication still continued, and within a month, I found out I was pregnant. So I told him about that. He seemed happy about it, as it would be his first child. I am his fourth wife, by the way. All his ex-wives were white women. And that doesn't include the Filipina that he married in the Philippines. He told me all his ex-wives cheated on him, and he's always the one being left alone. Here's another thing. He was not around in the whole pregnancy as he was in the USA. He's full of suspicions that he might not be the father of my baby, and it pissed me off. So sometimes I just opted not to chat with him because it always ended up with a fight. It didn't bother me if he's not gonna come back to us anymore. I didn't care about him anymore, but he really wouldn't stop pissing me off, such as he would try to embarrass me on Facebook by posting on my timeline that I am a scammer and that he's not the father of the child I'm bearing. Good that I noticed right away and got the chance to delete it before anybody sees it. But when the baby was born, he still visited us and saw the proof that he's really the father because they look alike. Until he had came to visit us 3 times already before the pandemic. He loves the baby so much. I felt like he only cares for the baby and not me. He has an attitude that I don't like. He's very short-tempered and had no patience. He would be really angry in the public or in front of my family. I tried to understand him, thinking his mood might just be because of the hot climate in the Philippines and hoping it's just temporary. until he decided to take us with him in the US. So we got married to speed up the process, and we are now in the US. I am now holding a 2-year green card. I don't feel like we're husband and wife since we got here. He has his own world. He doesn't like spending time with us. He even would walk out in front of our visitors. He gets very irritated with the cry of our child. When our baby cries inside the car, he would put the music volume to maximum, which I find very rude. Nothing had changed. He's still the same. He would always tell me that there are a lot of bad people here. He's very paranoid. Whenever he left us in the car, he would always leave me a pocket knife and instructs me to cut the neck of whoever would come close to us. When we're at home, he acts the same. He always reminds me to close the door, which is, to be fair, is the right thing to do, but just too much. That he would always check the camera, thinking somebody might have get in. I'm getting scared and worried at the same time with his behavior, so I told this to his parents, and he confirmed that he really has some irrational behaviors, that he has this kind of mental illness, and that he really needs to see a doctor, but they just couldn't say it to their son, afraid that it might trigger him to be enraged. My husband told me that he was haunted by his ex-wife for 2 years. That's why he's got a trauma from police officers. Also the reason why he's always been suspicious of everybody around. When we're outside, he oftentimes thinks we're followed by somebody. Rare are those moments that he's good and calm. I caught him twice in the dark, like hiding in the kitchen where the lights are totally off. By the way, we sleep in separate bedrooms since we're here. I feel like he really just only cares for our baby, not me. His plans just revolve around our child and doesn't include me. Just last night, I heard him in and out of his room, and it so happened that I needed to get something from the kitchen, and when I opened the door, he was so startled and afraid that he ran away so fast and hit on something, as he couldn't see anything because it's dark. I felt so scared. I just pretended that I didn't see or hear anything. I heard him moaning from pain, but I didn't try to check on him no matter how I wanted to, as I was so afraid that he might hurt me. I am already very tired of this situation. I don't know what to do. Like I want to leave him because I feel like we're not safe here anymore. And he doesn't treat me good either. But he is a good provider. I feel like I'm starting to have anxiety already, especially at night. I could hardly sleep. I couldn't talk to him about his condition either, as he might get offended and be angry at me because it looks like he's not aware of it. Can I report him to the police and have a divorce? My worry is that I only have 2 years green card. If ever we'll be divorced, could I still apply for a 10-year? What can I do with this situation? Please help me. And here are the top 3 most reacted comments of this story. And commenter number 1 says, if you want to help him, you can coordinate with your parents-in-law to have him seen by a doctor. It looks like what he's manifesting is a sign of severe anxiety brought by whatever traumas he'd been through. He might have a PTSD. I could relate with him as I've been kind of experiencing that too, but not that extreme. And I got this condition because of my childhood trauma. and it could get worse if left untreated. Commenter number 2 says, Mrs. Sander, my husband was manifesting that same kind of symptoms before. What I did that seemed helpful was to understand him and let him feel the support, love, and care for him. After 5 years, he got better, and now he's 100% okay already. Just don't forget to pray. But I am not advising you to do the same, especially that you have a child, as it would be very difficult to plan an escape just in case. Or you can run away to your in-laws for help. Never to other people, especially with guys, as that kind of person can get overly jealous that might lead you to a more dangerous situation. And our last commenter number 3 says, what you can do? One is, if he's threatening you again, secretly record him. Call a police and then escape. Take your child with you and go back to the Philippines. Second is that if you don't want to go back to the Philippines, seek help from a domestic shelter in your place and find a lawyer who can help you to get a full custody of your child. Good luck, Sander, and take care.